Ever feel like you're just stuck in a cycle of debt, trying to get ahead but something always pops up? Well, what if I told you there's a proven, step-by-step system to not only get out of debt, but to take full control of your money and build real, lasting wealth? Well, there is. And today, we're going to break down the famous 7 baby steps from financial expert Dave Ramsey.
You know, there's this incredible Thai proverb that says, being debt-free is a great fortune. And it's so true, isn't it? It just gets right to the heart of what that financial stress feels like, but also what that amazing freedom on the other side looks like. This explainer is all about the roadmap to getting that great fortune for yourself.
So who's the brain behind this plan? It's a financial expert named Dave Ramsey. And the reason this system works so well is that he's been there. He actually went through financial ruin himself and had to rebuild from the ground up. So these 7 baby steps, they're not just some theory. They're a practical, real-world guide to get you from the chaos of debt to financial peace.
All right, so here's how we're going to break this journey down today. First, we'll talk about laying the foundation, getting secure. Then, we're going to shift gears and talk about building for the future with investments. And finally, we'll get to the best part, the ultimate goal of all this, a life of real freedom and generosity.
Okay, let's dive right into the first and honestly most critical part, building that solid foundation. These first 3 steps are all about stopping the bleeding and creating some much-needed stability. So, the very first baby step is to save up a small starter emergency fund. Now, this is so important. You do this before you start aggressively paying down your debt. Why? Well, think of this fund as your financial shield. It's there to absorb those little life emergencies, so a flat tire doesn't completely derail your progress and force you to swipe a credit card. So what's the magic number? We're talking 30,000 baht. Now, this isn't going to cover you if you lose your job. That comes later. This is for those smaller, annoying things that always seem to pop up. The car repair, the unexpected trip to the doctor for your kid. It's a buffer between you and going deeper into debt. Okay, once that 30,000 baht is tucked away, you're ready for step 2. And this is the famous debt snowball. Here's what you do. You list out all of your debts, except for your house, from the smallest balance to the largest. And here's the part that sounds kind of crazy. You're going to completely ignore the interest rates. I know, the math says to pay the highest interest first, but personal finance is mostly about behavior. This method is designed to give you a quick win, to build momentum, and make you feel like, hey, I can actually do this.
So let's look at an example, because this makes it super clear. You throw every extra baht you have at that 5,000 baht credit card. Once it's gone, poof! You take the money you were paying on that card and you roll it over to the next debt, the student loan. You see how it creates a bigger and bigger snowball of money that you're throwing at your debt? That's what makes it so powerful. So fast forward, you've snowballed all your non-mortgage debt away. Feels amazing, right? Now you move to step 3, which is to go back and fully fund that emergency fund. This is way different from step 1. That little 30,000 baht fund was a buffer. This is your real safety net. We're talking 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses. This is the fund that protects you from the big stuff, like a job loss, without destroying your financial future. All right, take a deep breath, because everything we've talked about so far, that was defense. Now, with all that debt gone and a full emergency fund, we get to switch to offense. It's time to actually build your future. Step 4 is incredibly straightforward. You start investing 15% of your gross household income for retirement. And you'll be amazed, with no more car payments or credit card bills, how much money you suddenly have available to put towards your future self. This right here is where you really start to build wealth.
So you're probably asking, okay, but where do I invest it? Great question. The advice is to start with any tax-advantaged accounts you have access to. If your company offers a provident fund, especially if they match your contributions, that is your first stop. After that, you can look into good, growth-oriented mutual funds or other long-term investment funds that might give you some tax benefits, helping your money grow even faster. Now, at the same time you're putting that 15% away for retirement, you can begin step 5, which is saving for your kids' education. And the key thing to remember is this happens alongside your retirement savings, not instead of it. By setting up dedicated savings plans, you can give your kids a huge head start in life without having to sacrifice your own future.
And here we are, the last big mountain to climb. Step 6, pay off the house early. This is the very last debt standing between you and total financial freedom. Just think about it. Every extra bit of money you throw at that mortgage goes right to the principal, saving you an insane amount of money in interest and shaving years, or even decades, off your loan.
And that brings us to the very top of the mountain. This is what all that hard work, all that sacrifice,
was 4. This is where you achieve the ultimate goal.
Step 7 is to build wealth and give generously. I mean, just picture it for a second. No debt at all. No car payment, no student loans, no credit card bills, and no mortgage. The income you earn every month, it's all yours. This is where you can build some serious wealth and, even more importantly, have the freedom to be outrageously generous.
What this all boils down to is freedom. Real freedom. You're no longer a slave to your past decisions. The constant worry about money just fades away, and it's replaced by the ability to do what you really want with your time and your money. So I want to leave you with one final question to really think about. If you were completely debt-free and money was no longer an obstacle in your life, what would you do? Who would you help? What kind of life would you build? That is the freedom this whole journey is about.